Hello, everyone. I am Kai Porter. I did submit my discussion board too, and I did it in the form of a writing. And I see that it is supposed to be in a video, so wanted to make sure I got that in. Very briefly, I will talk about the consent form that I found and what I found interesting about it, and two things that I saw that were incongruent with the ACA Code of Ethics as well as the Virginia's Board of Counseling regulations. There wasn't too much that I found that was in contrast of the two um, things we were supposed to compare. Excuse me, with the consent form that was found, but there were a lot of variables that were consistent with that. So before I talk about those 2 points, something that I found interesting that Miss Natalie Wingfield did in her consent form is she gave a brief introduction for who she was, how she got to where she got her education levels, and where she got her educations from. So I felt like that was a really good short introduction and background description, so that the counselor, so that the client can see who the counselor really is and kind of get the professional relationship started. Um, with throughout, well, Natalie Wingfield, she was a licensed professional counselor as well as a registered yoga teacher. So she kind of mixed and intertwined both of those things with effectively being able to counsel and find the need of her clients and perform what they needed. Um, so one of the aspects that were congruent with the section is the part in the ACAs that touched on confidentiality and the client your client's records being sealed. Miss Wingfield wanted to let her clients know throughout the consent form that their records are confidential, but she is ethically required to inform someone higher than herself if a child, elderly, their client, and or someone that the client knows is going to be ill terminally. So things like AIDS or sexually transmitted diseases, and if they feel that they are going to be harmed, hurt, committing suicide or murder and things of such. So they are obligated and required to inform someone higher than themselves. So the confidential contract will be broken in that case, and that is also congruent, like I said, with the ACA's Code of Conduct. Code of Ethics. Excuse me. Another point that is congruent in her consent form, the ACA Code of Ethics, and the Virginia Board of Counseling Regulations would be the aspect on dual relationships and social media and being able to text and have the phone numbers. In her consent form, she did talk about the fact that she does not follow her clients on any social media, which is definitely the way to go to ensure that there are no dual relationships. She gave a description on how text messages worked and how scheduling worked. If there was something that was important or you were in need of, it was no need for a text message to her, only in aspects of canceling appointments or rescheduling. And she made a point to tell that she only talks about things that will benefit her clients, or personal information is never discussed in a session or outside of a session. And in both the ACA's Code of Conduct and Code of Ethics and the Virginia Board for Counseling regulations, they did heavily talk on dual relationships. You can't have intimate relationships. So she takes every precaution and procedure to make sure that those things aren't happening sexually, or intimacy is not happening with her and her clients. So I did like that aspect, and like I said, it was congruent with the two things we were supposed to research. Like I mentioned, there wasn't too much of a contrast, but I did love the fact that once she gave the background information in the beginning, as well as her requiring her clients to sign the bottom of almost every page. So it kind of ensures herself as well as her client, like, I'm going through this information, I'm signing my name, I can't go back on anything that I put my signature on. So I really like that she was thorough in that aspect. She also added in a section on complaints. So if she had complaints, there was a procedure given on her consent form on how to go about that, or if it wasn't, or if it had to be higher than her, where they would go, who they would call, who they would email. And I thought that was really cool as well, because that was not required in the consent form. So just to assure that her facility is as professional as possible, she made sure that they were aware of that information as well. And I found that pretty interesting. And for the most part, that would conclude my video. I also did type up a paragraph because I was unaware of the video, but I did want to make sure I got that in. So if you have any questions and comments, please comment below. And my link for YouTube will be attached or quoted to the paragraph.